at Onigashima. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Jimmy, and today we got chapter 1142, The Things I Find Scary. Really quick, just wanted to touch up on it. We didn't say it last week, but the cover story finally looks like something's progressing, just like we thought. Yamato coming in here with the Thunder Bagua technique, killing who's who,
Yamato,
saving ulti.
Totally no diff who's who, by the way. Like, Yamato...
To be fair, I don't think anyone's surprised by that.
No, I mean, like, top of the Toby Roppo. So... do you think that Yamato do this to Jinbei?
Yeah, probably, honestly.
Honestly,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I agree. I know that people have like all those first commanders like at that kind of like level, like Zoro, Sanji, Yamato's probably like in there, like Law's probably like a little kind of mix in there, like King, whatever. I think Yamato boxes with the best of them, like one shot Thunder Bagua, you know? Cool to see.
I mean, not to spend too much time, but she did go against Kaido for like a while.
Yeah. Exactly.
But to get into a little bit more power scaling, we get to see Loki released in this. Well, I guess he got released last chapter, but we get to see kind of what he can do, and immediately starts fucking shit up.
he just swung that shit, dude. He was like King Dedede. He was like, fucking just
I do like that they brought up exactly what they were talking about last chapter, where they were like, oh, you know Elbaf's biggest weakness? Lightning and fire. And they did, like, we were talking, it's like, oh, this will come into play later into the arc, maybe when something... Nope, next chapter.
Nah, right here. He's like, I'll show you. Like, the funniest thing to me, too, was like, you know, we kind of, with the lightheartedness of Elbaf in the beginning, we're like, oh, like... especially the way that Luffy is taking it like lightly, and we see Hyrudean like, no, please stop, like Loki, in the wake of like, you know, him just getting saved and his whole crew by like Gum Gum Balloon and all that. And so we weren't like super taking Hyrudean seriously last chapter, but he's like, you know, he's screaming for his life here because his older brother or younger brother, I don't remember which, but older, his older brother just immediately proves him right, you know, and just like starts smashing the hell out of Elbaf, and he's like,
you know,
no, dude, what the
I'm not gonna give up on Loki yet. I still think that he can be a good guy, and I think he's misunderstood.
Yeah, I don't think this
he can still be
that.
redeemed.
I don't think this disproves that. I just think that like so I'll say this, like, for Luffy's character, right, this might be one of the first times where Luffy's like dumb decision doesn't turn into like a gag, and it turned into like actual implications for the story. Because like, yeah, they could beat, you know, Luffy's mentality could have been like, you know, we'll release him, maybe he'll do like whatever, but like, I'll stop him, like, it's fine. And you know, he probably can, like, Luffy probably could stop him, but it's not stopping Loki from fucking up the island. Like, clearly, like, he already did. He already started a fire like everywhere, and like it's already, you know, DEFCON 5 in where the party is. So
I also like how his first reaction is to like destroy Elbaf, not even completely free himself, even though he says like, yeah, these chains can't do anything, might as well remove them while you can, right? Like, you don't want to
just like whack, dude.
This guy's priorities.
For real.
But I will also say this kind of goes into what he was saying like before, and what we learned about, and even more in the chapter of the destruction Nika, where not everyone believes in the same type of Nika, and he clearly thinks by destroying the island he's probably fulfilling like some kind of destiny, or at least his own destiny.
Well, speaking of like destruction Nika, like we see another Nika in this chapter. We get these like nightmares at the end, right? And we'll dive into this like over the whole chapter. There's a lot to dig into here, a lot of mystery set up, but it's interesting to see these enormous, and not to understate this at all, this is like last panel, insane size comparisons. Like, the giants are giants, and
and you can see them there in the bottom, and they look like normal people compared to like these giant like nightmares. It's kind of crazy.
These are crazy, and one of them's Nika, so it's like clearly, you know, we got like 3 Nikas here. We got Luffy, we got Loki, and we got this guy, right? So and also real quick, I don't know if in the corner you see, but there's like somebody's mom There, like one of the
Oh,
kids' moms.
is it Big Mom?
No,
It kind of looks like Big
it kind of does, but it's just that's funny. Anyway, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say this is. I mean, they kind of alluded to it here. It's definitely one of these like devil fruit powers from the Gods Knights over
For
here.
sure.
About like, oh yeah, we can bring to life these nightmares of anyone, and that makes me think like obviously this is used on kids right now, which is why it's like these cartoonish like characters that they're thinking of. But what happens when you use this on like other people? Like I feel like it'll come to the point like maybe not Luffy because I really don't think Luffy is scared of anything. But what if they do this on somebody like Usopp, for instance? Like what like horrifying crap is Usopp gonna be thinking of that they're gonna be able to bring to life and then actually scare him and he's gonna have to overcome it?
Honestly, that's hilarious, and I think that would be really funny to see like what like this. That made me think that like you see this whole fleet of monsters. What if like
Yeah.
a whole second fleet is just like summoned by Usopp alone because of the nightmare fruit?
I mean, I wouldn't even doubt it to be honest. But I will say one of the things it looks like that all of these monsters, like these kids are clearly asleep and that's what's causing it. So I guess he has to like put them to sleep and I wonder how it's done. I wonder if it's going to relate to kind of the gas we saw at the beginning of the arc that Road was using to put people to sleep, to kind of like maybe they find a way to use that in conjunction with the devil fruit powers to put them to sleep.
Well, my theory is that I think all of the 3 remaining Gods Knights here like work together in order to like execute this plan. We don't see Shamrock, so I don't think Shamrock's like involved. He might have gone back to the Holy Land for all we know. Like we don't see him here.
Yeah, I think he did. He said it last chapter that he was, or like 2 chapters ago.
So, which is interesting because I think they're gonna like save him for like a later arc. But I think that each of the Gods Knights might have displayed their own powers here. It's kind of insinuated like Keelingam like goes sleepy or whatever, and so I think that indicates to me that he might have been responsible for putting them to sleep.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if he's also. I mean, it seems like Gunko's responsible for like moving them at the very least. You know, we see her arrow and everything like guiding the kids, but you know, it could have been Keelingam doing the nightmare thing and the sleep because you know, nightmare, sleep, dreams, whatever, like that can kind of be connected. So it could.
Well, that's what I thought, and I thought we haven't gotten the other guys, and yeah, I haven't figured out all their names yet.
But
I figured we haven't gotten his last power yet. I think
well,
it's
it
just
could be
his power
Somar.
combined of one.
It could be Somar. Like if it is each of their powers being like, you know, because this was Shamrock's like, oh, let's make this a game. So maybe he like concocted, oh, let's use all 3 of your powers to like do this thing or whatever. Or Shamrock. Did I say Shanks?
I don't know, because I feel like because one devil fruit might be kind of ass by itself if you don't use it. And if these are the Gods Knights, these should be some pretty powerful devil fruits. And while I did underestimate Gunko at first, and her fruit is clearly proven to be like way more versatile than I initially thought. Like if your power is just to like bring about nightmares, but then you can't even utilize that unless they're asleep, that feels pretty bad.
I don't think it's that he can only use it while he's asleep. Like if this is Somar's thing, right? Like the summoning of nightmares. I think the sleep thing could just be. It doesn't have to be like while they're asleep. It is kind of insinuated. Maybe if they wake up the kids, like all these things will go away. But if I think that could be like a pretty versatile like scary power in its own. Like these Gods Knights are clearly sent on special missions, you know, like maybe they're similar to CP9 in that they're like not assassins, but like, you know, they're doing undercover work. I could see Somar being summoned if he had the fruit like alone and just like, you know, summoning the nightmares of somebody and then like piecing out and just like seeing what happens as that guy is asleep or whatever. I don't know. It could be that this is all Keelingam's doing and Gunko, but I'm inclined to believe that like we saw some of their powers here, and if not, then like it'll be interesting to see what Somar's like capable of. You know what I mean?
I think we'll get that a little bit later, and I think they're saving that because he does kind of look like the most like powerful out of these 3, and usually Oda likes to save like, okay, we'll tease a little bit of their powers now, let you like speculate, and then later we'll bring out the big guns. Because like while this does look strong, to be honest, these monsters look scary but not strong.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to like downplay how strong like Saul is, but he kind of took one out with one punch, to be honest. And granted, sure, he was a vice admiral, but he is also old and he's a lot weaker than he was before. So like
I don't know if he's that much weaker. I mean, he's like older, but like I feel like the Giants, you know, they don't age power wise, including age wise, like as much. So I feel like. And it was cool to see this from Saul, right? Like I know that it's a requirement for all the vice admirals to be proficient in like observation and armament. But it was good to like get that confirmation from Saul. We know that he's still no slouch. You know what I mean? He took this guy out.
Yeah, but like I said, we don't know how strong this guy is. There's some random snake shadow thing.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
all it was doing is terrorizing some kids, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But also one of the other interesting things they mentioned in this chapter is while the kids are asleep and kind of walking over, one of them is like, wait, don't touch them. So I wonder if like it's like a side effect of like, oh, if you do touch them or try to stop them, they're automatically going to put you to sleep also, and that's like why so many are asleep, because there's like an infection type thing. Or if it has to do with like Gunko's arrow thing, like protecting them and then it'll attack you after.
I feel like it's more like that, because I think he's insinuating that like, oh, if they're touched, like the arrow will go after you, because he's like fucked up, like he's on the floor like bleeding out, and I feel like he's trying to warn them about like what happened to him. And so that's what that tells me more, is like, oh, don't touch them, like Gunko's arrow will just like come and get you, like. And yeah, I think what you said before is like super true. Like we might have underestimated Gunko a little bit. Like that's a strong ability, you know what I mean, to guide people wherever they want, or wherever you want, and then like also be able to just like use these arrows as like a stabbing mechanism or something. There's this whole theory going around too with Gunko that she's a potential like what's it called, a revolutionary, because of the goggles and stuff that she has. Like it's very similar to the rest of the revolutionaries. There's also another adjacent theory that this is like Emu in disguise. I don't think that's the case.
No, I don't know about that one. This would be a crazy way to reveal Emu like this, just so casually, and then later on being like, actually, this is Emu.
I've seen a lot of stuff with Gunko specifically, because she has this like panel at the end of the chapter where she's like, oh, I'm afraid of Nika. I wonder if that's like the celestial dragons, incepting her to like hate Nika or be afraid of Nika. Like I wonder if there's some kind of like upbringing with the God's Knights where they're told about Nika, like maybe they know, and they're like, yo, we gotta get rid of this, because they're more afraid of Nika, similar to how like some of these kids are. And maybe in their minds they're like the justice force to like stop Nika in also while being celestial dragons that are just like have their own ideals of, I don't know, supremacy or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely their upbringing, because I don't think any of them, like, we've kind of ruled out some of the immortality things of these people living for so long. I think mostly based on Fagarland, I forgot his first name, Moon Dude.
Yeah, Garland.
But because he's like so old, or Garling, yeah. Since he's so old and got indoctrinated into the Gorosei, it doesn't seem like the Gorosei have that immortality thing, and I don't think the God's Knights would either. So I don't think they'd be alive long enough in the past to be able to actually see Nika like on their own. Right. It must be like stories and stuff that like have been passed down for like from generation to generation.
Yeah.
So, but also at the same time, like even if it's not, like I'd understand why they're afraid of Nika, because Nika is the one that's gonna like threaten to destroy their way of living.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting too. Like I think this is kind of a separate thing. I just like this as part of the Elbaf arc. Things are ramping up and things are building lore wise, like left and right, and the fact that I think this is pointed out from forever ago, but Elbaf backwards is Fable, and to get all these like mystical creatures and like weird Paramecia style abilities happening, and like these cartoons now essentially running rampant, it's just kind of fun to see. Like I like the world of Elbaf. It's a fun time. I feel like these kids draw better than I do. Damn, like Oda drawing.
Oh, 100%. Granted, yeah, it is Oda drawing the things for the kids, but definitely anything better than I can do.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
But yeah, this is a pretty interesting chapter overall. Like I feel like it leaves us with a lot of like mysteries, a lot of places it could go. And I like just seeing like not finally, because it didn't take that long, but we're starting to like pick up speed in the arc, and this is usually what happens when the arc starts out a little bit slower at first. We introduce a lot of things, and then it picks up, and it picks up quickly.
Yeah,
and that's clearly what's happening here.
I feel like, you know, timeline wise, it's almost like Dressrosa, where like this is all happening like almost in a day, right? So
Yeah,
this is gonna ramp up quick. Like Ragnarok might be starting like right now. Who knows?
I mean, even Egghead Island happened in 2 days. So
Yeah. Well.
but yeah, overall, only one bad thing about the chapter. There's sadly a break next week.
Break next week. Jeez, man. I feel like we were on the high of, we got 3 chapters in a row, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
Pretty good. Like, you know, we'll have a break, and we get One Piece back in the anime soon too. So, you know, a break that's gonna be superseded by a bunch of peak, I'm sure. Like, this is gonna evolve into some crazy
more
stuff.
peak.
More peak. Thanks guys for watching. Drop your theories in the comments. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.